I am 29 years old and I raised my 26-year-old sister because we had two parents. One who walked out when I was 5 years old, and the other who was in a cycle of addiction. So much so that I had to steal. I had to steal from my mother to pay the bills to make sure me and my sister had the lights and water on. And I did this. I grew up early to help my sister and to shield her from the situation that we was in. And when we were adults, the one time that I needed her, she told me no. She turned her back on me, and it was like a slap in the face. It was like a big F you to me. And now she's begging for my forgiveness. And I don't want to forgive her. And people around me are telling me that I'm going too far. They understood me at first, but now it's been too long. I need to try to forgive her. But like I said, I'm 29 years old, and I got a 26-year-old sister. Our father left when I was 5 years old, and my sister was 2. My mom, cycle of addiction. Like I said, I had to steal from my mom to pay the bills, to keep the water on, to keep the lights on. At 13, I had to get a part-time job to help with keeping things running around the house. And I shielded my sister to it all. Of course, she know what was going on, of course. But she wasn't in the crossfire, right? Because I stepped up. I grew up. When I graduated high school, I moved me and my sister out and I got 2 jobs. And I tried to push her through school. I tried to push her through high school. And she was a difficult teenager. Rightfully so, though. Look at her life. I'm not mad at that. But I pushed her through school. She graduated at 19 years old. She spent another year in high school, but she graduated and she flipped her tune once she graduated. She started working, got her a job, and at 21, she moved out, got her own apartment. Good, right? Now I could live my life. I decided to go back to school, get me a degree. Nice. Went to school, got me a nice degree, got me a new job in my field that I just got the degree in, and COVID hit, right? COVID hit. And I was a new hire at my new job with my new degree, and I got fired. I didn't have anywhere to go. Money was running out. Bills were piling up. I was about to get kicked. I was about to get evicted, kicked out of my apartment, evicted. And I called the one person who I knew would have my back. The one person who I had all of our childhood. I called the one person, my sister, who was staying with her husband at the time, still staying with her husband, married, newly married, standing there. I called my sister and I said, hey sis, I am about to get evicted. I don't have any money, but I just need a few weeks, at most a few months to get back on my feet. I just need a place to stay. She told me no. No. Didn't give me any explanation. Hung up in my face. A few weeks passed by and I got kicked out of my apartment. I was essentially homeless. Nowhere to go. And I called my sister again. I said, sis, I have nowhere to go. I lost my home. Can I move in with you? I just need a few months at most. She said, no. I would have been staying on the streets had I not had a few friends to let me crash at their places. I eventually found another job and rented a room. It was strangers. I rented a room, but it was somewhere to stay. I eventually found another job in my field when things got better. And I'm fine. I'm fine now. I'm good now. The thing is, I haven't spoken to my sister since. That day she told me no was the last day I spoke to her. Because given our situation, right? I didn't tell the situation to go and say, yeah, I made it out of something hard. I told this situation because based on what we went through, what I sacrificed for her, because of course, yeah, I didn't have to grow up. I didn't have to be her parent. I didn't have to do all that, but I did because I was all she had. And I felt like in return, she could have gave me that. She could have gave me a few months. She could have gave Big Brother a few months, right? So I haven't talked to her since. She's been trying to contact me. She showed up at my job. She's banged on my door. She's tried to talk to my girlfriend. She's tried to talk to my friends. She's tried to talk to to people I work with. She's tried all this, but I won't say anything to her. Anything at all. And at first, my friends and my girlfriend understood where I was coming from, right? But now, They're saying, it's been long enough, you could talk to her. And I don't feel like it has. I really don't. Because at first I was like, maybe it has been long enough. But they didn't live the life we lived. They didn't go through what we grew up through. They don't understand what I sacrificed. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that for their sibling. So how can I let them tell me that it's been long enough? So I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I let my sister know because she's pregnant now. She's pregnant now, about to have a baby. She's been reaching out relentlessly, even though I won't talk to her. I sent her a message telling her and describing a lot of stuff that we went through when we was younger and saying that I know that you didn't have to, but I expected you to. And you were basically telling me no, that I couldn't even have a few bumps. And in one of her messages, she said no because her husband didn't want me to stay there. And that made me feel like, you didn't even fight for me? You didn't even fight for your brother to come stay with you, knowing he had nowhere to go? So I mean, that little to you. So I wrote her a message. I said, look, maybe one day I will talk to you again. The cracks are there. It's a crack for me to talk to you again. But it will be on my terms when I am ready. You can stop messaging me and bombarding and showing up places because I'm not going to talk to you. When I feel like it has been enough time and I've healed, I will reach out. But until then, leave me alone. She's still been bombarding my email, which is the only avenue she has me. I've blocked her everywhere else she's blocked. But she's been bombarding my email, still begging to speak to me. And I just don't think enough time has went by. So I'm coming here to ask the masses, am I wrong for feeling how I feel, even though it's been years?